Leading your bulletin this hour, 3 people have been arrested and are peoples of interest in a case of 18 victims who were shot dead in Ngobozana Village in Lusikisiki last weekend. Police Minister Senzo Mchunu confirmed these arrests during a media briefing. Mchunu says the 3 suspects are linked to other crimes and not directly connected to the Lusikisiki mass murder. He adds that more arrests may be made as investigations continue.
They have been arrested for specific cases that will be clarified in court in terms of the charges. But as I say, it is possible, and mind that operational word, that while people or any one of them or all of them get charged for a specific case or specific cases, they may be people of interest in other cases, as the case may be. And investigation in the meantime is continuing. This talks to the context under which the murders of 18 people happened. So I'm not going to say, if for instance any one of the 3 appear in any of the cases that Mr. King was talking about, we're not going to arrest. We're going to arrest. But at the same time, while arresting him or her or them for whatever case, they may be, or any one of them, they may be people of interest, including for this particular one.
For more on this, we are joined by SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi. Lerato, good evening. Thank you so much for being with us. Let's go to this. You were at the funeral this morning, reporting live from there at the Mass Memorial Service, where the minister had given that speech that we had just played over there. Did the community, a community deeply in mourning, receive that as some form of soothing as they laid to rest their loved ones?
Absolutely not, Oliver. When we spoke to one of the family members, he confirmed that until there is a direct link between the people that have been arrested and the mass murder, the family will not find closure. The man that we spoke to said that the police minister did emphasize that the 3 that have been arrested are not necessarily the culprits of the mass murder, but like you said, could be people of interest. And the family said, unfortunately, that's not enough, because what happens if they're not linked to the mass murder? They need back to the drawing board to try and find their real culprits behind this mass murder. So the family left there discouraged, anxious, definitely scared, knowing that the murders of their family members are still roaming the streets of Ngobozana, where the tragedy happened a week ago.
Has the minister given any indication, Lerato, in that presentation, that presser this morning, alongside on the sidelines of the memorial service, what the link is between the 3 people that have been arrested that makes them persons of interest in the mass murder, given that their arrests are entirely parenthetical to the mass murder?
The minister spoke about how the arrest came through a mass shooting that took place 2 days ago. I don't know if you watched my early morning crossing, where I showed you a house where a mass shooting happened 2 days or a day before the actual mass murder, right opposite the house where 14 people were killed a day later. And in that specific house, everyone did survive, but we saw the bullet proofing still on the walls of that house. So that specific mass shooting, the people linked to that have been arrested, and they're saying because the houses are in such close proximity, perhaps the people being arrested for that specific case could then be leads to the mass murder because of how close the houses are. Perhaps this house was like a forerunner to the mass murder because it happened in such a close proximity of time. So the minister is saying that the people brought into question have various cases surrounding them, and perhaps having a conversation with them and questioning around them will assist them to link them perhaps to the real culprits behind the mass murder.
Yeah. A funeral oftentimes is where we all pour out our empathy with the family, or a reeling community in mourning, as Lusikisiki is today. Thereafter, it's silence. We all go back to the news cycle, ministerial positions go back to focusing on the politics of the day, and officials focus on service delivery, whatever that may be. The community is left behind all by itself. What do we know about after support that will be given to the community by the administration in the province?
That was actually a question that was thrown to the minister during the press brief, and he did say that they're going to intensify police visibility in Ngobozana, where this tragedy took place, where people are so scared that Oliver, some of them have actually stopped living in Ngobozana and are living somewhere else because they fear that they may be next in terms of mass killing. So Minister of Police said that they're going to deploy more police, they're going to keep a safe and a strong eye in that specific area, primarily to protect the citizens there, and also to try and communicate to them perhaps to get a lead or get some sort of direction in terms of the people behind this mass murder, but really committing as the Minister of Police to say that resources will be deployed to the area to ensure the safety of the people that now live in fear in that area.
Have you, Lerato, been able to observe any increased police visibility in the area? You've been covering this for quite a while this week. Have you noticed a significant difference?
Absolutely not. I think I'd be lying if I said I saw more police visibility where we went. I mean, we went to 3 villages of homes in Lebase where 11 family members were killed. And even in Ngobozana, when we were there this morning as early as 6 a.m., there was no police visibility there. And neither was there any police visibility at 8 o'clock or when we left. So it's really quiet. No one on the street. People don't want to speak to the media in for that fact because shootings there have become such a norm. But certainly police visibility, yes, at the tent where we were this afternoon for obvious reasons, but in the town itself, absolutely not.
This question is a little bit unusual, Lerato, but I think it's important to make the country realize truly what is at stake here. We often expect reporters like yourself to report on these things dispassionately and merely stick to the facts. But as you've been covering this, what have you been feeling?
I think what I felt the most is just a sense of sympathy for the families, because like you said, Oliver, that we're going to put our mics down, the tent is now going down, people are going back to their families, the families are preparing to bury. And when we're leaving, my heart got a bit sore because I was thinking to myself, here are these families we've been talking to the whole week, have to now go bury their loved ones, and you can sense from them, just talking to them, that they didn't leave there with renewed hope. They didn't leave there with an assurance that, you know what, next week someone is going to be arrested. And they were saying that, you know what, Lerato, you guys will be back again the year after and the year after, because we've heard the empty promises. We've heard people being arrested, no one bought a book. And they even stated that the man who was closing for part of the family members saying that in August, Oliver, there were 7 cases of people with unlicensed firearms that were dropped. In September, 6 cases of people that were reported to the police carrying unlicensed firearms, walking around the streets of Lusikisiki, reported cases. No one else bought a book. So that's really the painful part of this, is that perhaps unless the police really do intensify, unless the Minister of Police truly puts his mouth where his money is and commits, like he has this morning, practically and physically, to deploy resources to this area, the people here are saying, we're going to come and tell the story in a few years' time, if not a couple of months' time, because of the recurrence of mass murders here. So a sense of pain, definitely a sense of anxiety for those that have to now live here. We go back to our homes and live normal lives, but for them nothing is normal here. Gunshots every single night, living in your own home out of fear that someone may shoot your own household, absolutely abnormal if you ask me.
Lerato Fekisi, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.